All
Oh,
right. Man,
we're
this is
still
a good
waiting on
one.
some people.
Yeah, we've got let's see. Kiva,
George
which I
and
sent him an invite to the server. Oh yeah,
yeah,
George.
George, who I pinged.
Is he like Snow Miser or something like that?
Yeah,
I don't even see him. He's not in here.
yeah, I'm not online either. Well, if anyone in the audience is repping Mile High or Mystery,
He's probably I mean he knows about it. I can just invite him really quick. Tell him to get his
let
ass in
us
here.
know.
There he is. Hey, fuckface, are you still coming?
That's nicer than I would have been.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, just let him know that you got to hold people accountable for their uh agreements,
sure.
But
But we got
yeah,
Team
did
Pico
you
here,
guys end up
he's new player of the year. So
Yeah, I do. Kev, I still need it if you want to post it in that channel.
yes, Kev,
Uh
we always need it.
always need it every week. Why would I want to bookmark that when I can just ask you guys every week?
You are lucky that I have stamina and I can keep giving it to you.
I'll bookmark it this time, So I
All
tried
right.
to look up Factory Press Media, but I couldn't find it.
Let me find that link that Hi Dude gave me here for the itinerary. Here it is. Boom. All right. Today, main show. Morf and Vice are going to have guest Wana. We'll let him introduce himself. George, Duck, Kev. Um, we're going to talk about TCW's move to Rose, their new name, the recent buildup in militarization, other current affairs which have happened after that, such as rethemes, new leaders in certain alliances moving spheres. Right after the Morph show, we're going to have a quick little post show. It's going to be with Liberty and Hi Dude. They're going to be inviting on guests to talk about their opinion and show support for the award show, which the shortlisting has started. It ends in a couple of days on the 25th, I think. And then the 26th through the 29th is the official voting. Make sure you guys are in the server if your alliance has been invited in voting for that. And then um, make sure you do the final votes, obviously, because that's the most important one. And then the actual show for the entire thing, in which we'll announce the winners for all of the 2021 awards, will be in the main Politics and War server on the 30th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So that's what, 2 p.m. Is that Pacific, and then roughly like 10 p.m. London time. So you've got that going on, and Kills Bob is recording it. I think this recording will go in the normal Morph YouTube channel, and or at least wherever he's putting them up lately. Anything to add to that, Morph?
No, that's
Okay,
good. That's a good intro.
beautiful.
Hey, yeah, hey,
Why don't we have
Vice, you were muted like that whole time. Could you repeat that whole
Yeah,
thing,
all
please?
right. Starting today, now we have more. No, why don't we go through the panel while we're waiting for everyone else?
Yeah, that's the
And
wrong
then
one. Come on.
we've got uh, Kev. We have Kev, who's got the Boba Fett profile picture. We have Weisel, Wana, Duck, and then is there anyone? Who are we missing? So we've got Hollywood,
We're missing
PS,
Kilo and we're
Hawk,
missing George. So
Johnson. So we need Mystery, Rose. Who's in
Smile
here?
High Club, thank you very much.
Hey, Big Mac, you want to come up? What did I do? Yeah, Big Mac, you want to hop in here? Since George isn't around. Ken Pico, you can come too. One or the other. Oh, he's about to head out. Okay.
Ooh. Come
Waste, do
on,
you want to do it?
Pico. Come here.
Waste, Kaz, anyone? You guys are all a mile high.
You know, there's so many Mile High people here. Why is no one doing this?
Waste King's in a position. Hey, congrats on the sex, my man. Well, I
You
think
just
it's when
gotta
you
be able
listen
to
to
come
us in
on
the
and
middle
like
of it.
talk trash, you know? Tell people to grow internally, and then you're good to go.
Come on, Kaz, get up in here. It'll be like old times.
We need somebody.
I
I can
will be. I can be the official
Yeah, get the fuck
representative
out of here.
I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, you'll rep anyone.
Yeah, dude, I got
All
you.
right, whatever.
But
I don't care. If you guys have questions, I'm here.
he's
Uh,
actually Johnson's now. That's the biggest news of the whole
Yeah.
week. I think Kev is
Oh yeah,
actually the
Derek is here.
Johnsons.
Yeah, Derek. I didn't even see him in the here. Invite to speak. Here we go. All right. So we got Jarek, and then mystery. I mean, assuming they're here for the next Morph radio show. I don't know.
I don't know at this rate, man.
You know, do we even want to include them? It's
I mean, I love Kilo, you know, so that's
who's. God,
Mic
I don't
check.
even know who's left in there.
yeah. Who is left in mystery besides
UPN, but they
Kilo?
don't really come to these.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, anyone we can get from Mystery Inc., we could probably get some kind of like government funding if we allow them to talk. So.
we used to never have people short from mystery. It'd be desperate times these days.
yeah. Mystery used to be the easiest block to fill,
Mm-hmm.
but
See, look at
hey,
the treaty web here.
we'll do without it. It's fine.
Yeah, we don't need it. Ampersand, T-Fed. Yeah, so Kilo's not coming. US
I mean,
and FARC. Yeah, we're not
to-
getting anyone from there.
To call Mystery a block anyway is kind of a stretch. I mean, you'd have to define what block means.
Hey,
Oof.
Mystery tries their best. Okay.
Okay. You gave me the hotcakes.
Yeah,
So
man,
by the way.
I can't find it. It's like gone.
Oh, it's in the other server somewhere. Whatever. We don't need it. We can just go ahead and get cracking. So
I'll look
why
for
don't
it.
Morph?
But I guess I have to also vamp.
Why don't you add in anything you want to, and then make sure the guests introduce themselves.
Okay. Yeah, this is really happy to be here on DNN because we do agree that hashtag the Balkans suck. So we're thanking Hi Dude and everyone else for having us over here. We'll start, I guess, with the panel. Weisel, do you want to say hello?
Hello.
Who are you and what do you do?
You understood the assignment.
I did. I'm Weisel. I'm the leader of TKR and repping Hollywood today.
All right, we'll go to Wana next. Wana, what do you do?
Hello, I am the head of foreign affairs for the syndicate, and I will be representing Blackwater today.
There we go.
Duck voice reveal.
Mr. Duck.
Hey, I'm from Hand of Fate, here for Clock.
Welcome. First time on the show. Congratulations. Jarek.
I'm second IC for TCW here for Mile High.
Okay.
Everyone knows who the fuck you are, but go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I am Incitatus, I guess is what you're trying to go for there earlier. But I'm Kev. I'm the director of Very Good Media. I'm the grandfather of the Johnsons. I'm the daimyo of the Fighting Pacifists and Dark Brotherhood, and the birth giver of Cataclysm.
Incitatus, got it.
So what's your official position at Dark Brotherhood? Daimyo? In Dark Brotherhood, what's your official job? Daimyo?
Daimyo of the Fighting Pacifists and Dark Brotherhood.
Okay. Well, congratulations on your new positions as not only the grandfather of the Johnsons, but now the leader of the Johnsons.
I want to start off with this. Can we just take a step back and I've never, not once, heard you talk about or to anyone from Dark Brotherhood. So how did you just out of nowhere become head of FA?
It's been great meeting everyone the last week.
Seriously, how are you there?
You just like message them and say, "Hey, I'll actually do stuff," and they were like, "Sold."
No, No, they came to me asking for assistance, and I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help my children as the grandfather of the Johnsons. I'm happy to help anyone that I can.
Did you have
So,
influence in the move from mystery to
I mean,
Johnson's?
what's really influence? I think that's something to.
I
That's
don't
a
think we need
discussion
to
for another
define
time.
that. I just think it's just like
Yeah.
a yes or no.
No, I mean we could talk about that later. I want to sidetrack. I think we've
We're
got a
not
good.
sidetracked. Well, you are the main event right now, my man.
This is gonna be a poor show if that's the case.
Let's go. Were you involved in the decision making to leave Mystery and go to Johnson's for Dark Brotherhood?
I mean, yeah, definitely. It's here. What would Juana say? What would Juana say? It was definitely something that we decided as
Anna
a
would say you have
group.
30 minutes to answer the question.
yeah, Juana. Juana, what would you say, buddy?
You have 30 minutes to answer the question. Congratulations.
Okay, actually,
Definitely.
I'll be transparent. Go ahead, Juana.
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay,
Dude,
sure.
Lefty has the grow internally meme attached to him forever, and Juana's gonna get the 30-minute meme.
So, full disclosure, I guess, like I told this on Thalmor Radio. So, this is kind of funny. I kind of wish there's someone from Mystery Inc. in here too, because it'd be kind of hilarious. So, I was asked to help out Dark Brotherhood, and I thought, you know what, sure, that sounds great. Helping the Johnsons any way I can would be fantastic. And at the time, they had an ODOAP with TFP, and they also had treaties with Mystery Inc. So I popped in there. I was given roles in the high leadership, whatever, within Mystery Inc. And my lord, there was a freak out. So people were just started going buck wild in there, saying, hey, he's gonna leak all of our logs, and what is this treachery and stuff. And anyway,
So Mystery was upset about having you in the
oh yeah,
block chat
they
level.
they
Okay.
were upset to put it at least. At first I really.
Hi, they're gonna be gone in like a week or two, so
100%. So anyway, I went in there, and I went in there with pretty good intentions. I'm like, okay, hey, so let's take a look at what's going on with Mystery Inc. Like 3/4 of your alliance is trying to find homes, most of which, are the other blocks are saying no, thank you, right? And so, but they're actively shopping. I know Gato just got a home with Blackwater. But everyone's like freaking out, upset with one another. It's just absolute chaos, and not in a good way. And so I ask, like, hey, what is your guys' options? I think that's the best thing, because instead of complaining about stuff, like, what can you guys do moving forward? So most of you guys are looking to go to other homes. There's a war coming up. Do you guys know what the war is going to be? I can give some insight there. And people are bickering back and forth. And then they accuse me when I say that they accuse me when I say, like, are you guys aware of what the war is going to be? They accused me of gaslighting them by insinuating that a block was going to hit Mystery Inc. I was busy when I went in there, so I wasn't like responding to things right away. But they accused me of gaslighting them by insinuating that Mystery Inc. was going to get hit or something. And then also for insinuating that there was a problem with Mystery Inc. or something. I don't know. The whole thing was bizarre. And then they ended up kicking out Dark Brotherhood. So they kicked out Dark Brotherhood due to gaslighting, asking questions about how the block can improve, and if they had intel in the war, because there's different alliances going to different blocks. So I figured that'd be probably useful information if they're going to try to make educated guesses on what they're going to do. But anyway, that's the long answer to yes, had some influence. Like, obviously, I want to see the Johnsons family grow strong and be strong. But Mystery Inc. is kind of in shambles, a little bit in shambles.
well, that's like so we don't have a rep here to at least rebuttal and get the other side of the opinion here.
It's a little wild. That's just crazy.
So this can roll into the first topic though that we had before you got into that, and it basically is: do you think PCW moving out of that sphere is what destabilized it? You think it was destabilized beforehand? I guess Jared can chime in as well. Just curious if you guys think that Mystery was on the down while TCW was there, or if it was worse after they left. Jarek, what do you think? You were there.
Well, while Jarek's finding his mute button, I can give a little bit more insight there. They were complaining about TCW. Man, I've never seen so much hate for TCW within a block. So anyway, they were. Oh my god, TCW, TFP, by the way, too. Like as a DB in their wise, in their wisdom, they obviously wanted to be a part of Johnson's any way they could. So they signed a treaty with TFP. And anyway, they absolutely hate TFP. They absolutely hate TCW. They hate. They at this point they kind of hate everything. They hate these blocks that aren't accepting them.
Eric, did you
They
find your
hate the
mic yet?
world. So I'm curious on what TCW did to make them so mad.
Eric, do tell.
Faisal, what do you think about the move from TCW to now Mile High?
But for TCW, and I guess that makes sense for Mile High. They were with us taking on TI. They were looking like the smaller of the big four, so they needed a little bit more oomph. So it makes sense to me.
Do you think Mystery was on life support before or after they left?
I don't think they were in a great spot. Honestly, I think it was possible that they was already going to be on the way out before they left. So that's my personal feelings, just from looking from the outside in.
Juana, you feel the same way?
Yeah, no, I feel pretty much similar. I think it's an interesting fit, to be honest. If I had a guessing, if I was a guessing man, I would have guessed that TI would probably end up with Rose, just based on their prior history working together and the seemingly similarness of their styles of FA. So it's certainly interesting that TCW is the one who ended up with them, but if everybody's growing, and you are someone who is prone to anxiety, to worry, I think the play is to keep adding where you can.
Duck, reading about it. There he is.
He lives.
So, I just got an interesting DM during all that from a member of Mystery.
Oh boy.
They're calling bullshit on a lot of what was just said.
Please.
Between what Kev said or anyone else, because we all know that.
Mainly
in the chat.
Mainly
Kevin was.
Let's hear it. What are they disputing?
The shit talking of TCW mainly.
Okay. Do they want to come on?
We'll take anyone from
I
Mystery.
feel like,
Yeah,
Jarek,
come
do you
on
feel like
in.
you guys?
They say no.
Okay. Do you feel like you guys left in a very nice manner? Then would you say? I mean,
I
you
thought
at
we
least
did.
you at least gave 72 hours notice, which is a better leave than other alliances have given recently.
Well, we gave our notice, and we were still active the 3 days before we left, and we all left with a thought on a really good note. But according to this person, there's no hatred towards TCW for leaving. So, I guess.
They might have been.
There's not that much hate. I think a lot of people understood it.
There might have been like one or two people that wasn't piling on when they were on the leadership chat of Mystery Inc. when they were talking about TCW. So maybe it was one of those one or two people. Like that's fine. But the departure, the manner in which you guys departed, did you guys get a lot of flack or like people saying no, please don't go? Or
Not really. There wasn't really much like pining. It's like, okay, well, we understand why you guys want to leave. Best of luck, sort of thing.
Interesting.
Big gulps, huh?
Well, if you look at it, I think this is an interesting point for us to talk about as a group here. Is it really does seem like the game is now trending towards depending on what you think of the Johnsons, for major spheres and the Johnsons as a fifth. I just don't think there was a lot of room for more spheres than that. So it feels like that's where the game's at. 4 big spheres and the Johnsons.
It does feel like that. I mean, for me, it's like there's there's always been like 4 alliances playing one game, and then 1 to 3 playing something completely different. And I've said this before. So it seems like people are bulking up, and who knows what history will happen in a short time. But I mean, High Dude ran numbers this morning on Johnson's, and they've got like, I know they're most of the cities are down low, but they have a lot of cities, a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot. So
If
I
they
think that
catch 'em
they're
for a month, a year or so, they could be, pretty scary.
yeah. Yeah, it's just really interesting to see like how in a matter of a month they've gone from basically Cam being there to like TFP, Dark Brotherhood, Los Pollos, Block, whatever that is, Waffle House. Like, I mean, they've grown significantly in the last couple weeks. So I would say when you get that big, you are now a viable contender with the other 4. They may not have the same tiering, but they are big enough to be hit and hit someone else and it not be frowned upon.
Hey, Vice, but let me ask you this upcoming question here, just based on that statement you just made.
Mm-hmm.
At what point is it okay to just deck a 3 or 4-year-old, right? Even if there's 1,000 of them, is it okay to start just swinging punches at 4-year-olds? Is it like if they have like machetes in their hands? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
at
If there's
what
like a bunch of
point?
3 or 4-year-olds with machetes, 100%. I'm gonna
Yeah.
drop kick every single one of them.
Okay. Okay. And at what point is does the Johnsons, do they have machetes?
I would say they're pretty close to it right now.
Okay.
Waffle House is no slouch. Soldiers of Liberty have been around for a while. They should know better. WTF has been around the block. They know. I don't really know what Genesis is. Confederate States of Orbis has been around for a while, based if you look at TGUR and was it Mandalorian they merged with. Yeah, they're micros. Yeah, they've never really been in the macro scene, so I won't count them. Dark Brotherhood's been around a long time. Camelot's been around the block. TFP has been around the block. Thunderstruck, although usually insignificant, they've been around the block. Los Pollos, these are not like micros that just popped up out of nowhere and grew. They are alliances that have been around and merged and played almost as long as I have. And so, or significantly longer in the case of Camelot, TFP. So, like the Johnsons would rock history right now, no doubt. And obviously, that's not the right comparison. But I think like if the Johnsons and Rose were to fight, I mean Rose is pretty weak down low right now, so you would have a Guns N' Roses type situation on your hands, where there's a contested area, and I would expect it to be around like C15.
I mean, the Johnsons is building right now. You could have the Guns N' Roses situation,
Yeah, maybe even C15 to C20 is where the contested range would be, which is like there's some meat on the bone in that range.
Yeah, I just feel like there's no real reason to fear the Johnsons' hegemony. I feel like they're a very fair and just overruling family. So, like let's move on to the next topic. What do you think?
Which one is that?
The topic of Mile High.
With just the name?
No, like you guys. Why aren't you guys militarizing? You got all these other major blocks militarizing. Where's your mill?
Should we?
That is a question.
Should we? I
I
think
don't
it's weird
know.
that you guys want to start with why we aren't militarizing rather than asking Hollywood why they are.
I mean,
No, I'm
I
just
mean,
curious.
it is one of those things where it's like, fool me once, shame on, but fool me twice, shame on you. Yeah.
It's a
But you know what?
calculated risk, but man, are we bad at math.
Kudos to Rose for holding strong on a
You want
theory
to know
that they
where
have.
I'm really coming from here? You guys want to know 100% why I don't,
Yes.
I talked about it significantly, and I actually wanted to militarize, and then I stepped back from the ledge on that. So I think a lot of people here, especially if you talk about the ones who are in this chat and signed the no nap, I think we all want a game where naps are not a thing to exist, right? And so with that, we have to take a look at health of blocks, the situation in their most recent history before we decide to act. If you have some particular reason why you think they need to die, that can be addressed at the time. But, um, I would say that, let's say Oasis was still around and Rose wanted to hit him. I would probably say, okay, they just got hit by Blackwater. They just got hit by Clock. Are they in a state where they can survive from a hit? Or do we think it's right to hit them based on how long it's been? And we may all have differing opinions here. But if we want to keep naps away, we need to at least be conscious about how we treat each other. And do I think Rose needs to get Rose needs to get rolled? It doesn't matter. Like, I'm just one opinion. But some people would say, oh, that's the whole point of no naps is you can roll someone over and over again, and that's totally fine. My point is that if you want no naps to succeed, you have to put them at the forefront of your thought process when you are deciding to declare war on someone. It may be a hot take, I don't know. Take it back to your radio show next time you do it, Kev, but it's one of those things that we all want no naps to happen, but if you lose people's trust in the system by smacking people multiple times within a month, people are going to shy away from the no nap system. So that is like one part to multiple. Okay, so someone hits us, it's just going to scare a lot of the other people in the game to sign
And
no
then
nap.
at what point does that become pushing people out? Because people are just going to get sick of getting rolled repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, and they're just going to be like, screw this. Why bother?
Yep. So there's that. If you want there not to be two major alliances, we need to make sure that blocks do maintain stability. It's why I don't want Mystery to collapse. It's why I didn't want Oasis to collapse, regardless of how involved in the upper echelon of the game they were. Okay, we talk about there's four major, and then there's the Johnsons, and then before it was Johnson's, Oasis, Mystery, kind of, and then everyone else. But in order to have that dynamicism or diversity in the game, you got to think about that. I don't care if you roll Rose 5 times in the next 2 months, but expect that at some point they're either going to look internally and blame themselves for not militarizing, which is 100% thing. So if we get rolled, it was an option that we had to, it was like a calculated risk. But at the same time, we have to look at what the decisions leaders across the game are making and decide whether they are putting the cart before the horse or if they're being sort of level-headed in their approach to the game. Because again, I would personally have a small responsibility as an alliance leader or a block leader to try and play the game in a healthy way. But again, that's just my opinion. So we took an L. We just rebuilt. Someone wants to roll us. We have calculated that risk and we're happy with it. So it's up to you guys.
Thoughts? Weisel, Lana, thoughts on Rose's not milling up?
No, I think honestly, Vice is right in this regard. I think I would be surprised if Rose was the one being hit.
And again, we have to be also on Rose's part willing to accept that if we get rolled, we made the choice. So it's not a blame game. We're not sitting here waiting for someone to hit us and then publicly shout at them, right? We would go, well, fuck. But it's one of those things that, for our standpoint, we would hopefully not like to see someone get hit twice in a row. I mean, personally, I think like the chaining wars was kind of gray area. Hitting a block right after the rebuilt would be kind of rough to watch. It happened to
So-
TLE like 3 times in a row, and they went from being one of the most hated alliances in the game to everyone's little underdog story because they wanted them to succeed after getting involved into war after war after war every time they rebuilt. So I hate to see that happen to a whole block.
So what you're telling me is I should try to talk TFP out of wanting to hit Rose.
Oh.
Okay.
No, you guys do you. So, what about you, Weisel? Fuck.
I don't know if I necessarily would have made the decision not to mill up, but I understand where you're coming from and how you explained it. So
I was on
Yeah,
the mill train all the way up until DC yesterday. I was on it. I was saying we need to do it.
yeah, I completely get where you guys are coming from and the whole thing about the naps and whether or not it's right to roll somebody right after they finished a rebuild from a decent war. So and I wouldn't necessarily, I don't know if I would have necessarily made the same decision, but I do understand it.
Duck?
Actually, that brings up another point. I think every single other block in the game has rebuilt in the past 3 or 4 weeks, so I'm kind of wondering what Hollywood will do right now.
They have, but I mean, a lot of people left with significant amount of infra intact as well, though.
That's true.
Whatever happens, all I know is Oblivion did nothing wrong.
They never have. They're a peaceful, loving alliance.
Aki did nothing wrong because Aki is Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
Oblivion is Aki.
And Oblivion.
Don't check the login times.
So, yeah, I mean, Weisel, what was? I'm gonna be honest with you. I have my tinfoil hat on. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is one of those Vice's got a tinfoil hat on, change his mind. Okay. It's very interesting that you guys signed TI after they just got hit by Blackwater, right?
Okay.
And now you're militarizing. Would there be any angst in TI to want revenge? And was there any negotiations when you signed TI that you guys would militarize pretty soon to help make someone pay the blood price?
As far as the angst towards Blackwater, you'd have to ask TI.
Or
But
Clock, either one.
Hey,
you'd have to talk to TI about that on how they exactly they feel.
Oh, okay. But were there any negotiations about going offensive when you signed him?
No, they were just normal treaty negotiations on being allies.
Okay, interesting. I would have thought there was. Or are you
Like
guys
I assume
militarizing?
you're asking if like going offensive was a condition of them joining or not. Is that where you're
Well,
getting
I
at?
mean, yeah, like when you guys made Hollywood, you guys made it, and then you guys wanted to go offensive right away, and it was talked about before the formation of Hollywood. It wasn't like you guys made Hollywood and then said, "All right, now that we've all moved in, who do we roll?" It was like, "Hey, let's make Hollywood." And
The
roll Rose.
negotiations with TI were normal negotiations.
Why are you guys
Hollywood was a very different thing.
So why are you guys buying Mill? Grumpy market manipulation.
Month,
Sorry.
Last month, Clock put everybody in an uproar, so we wanted it to be our turn this month. Put all of Orbis into an uproar.
You certainly
Also,
have.
I think
Roberts steal the sale.
Roberts went on Thalmor last night, right? And,
yeah, was that him that said that?
he kind of you kind of let the cat out of the bag. And we wanted to get everyone to mill up, so the price of steel would go up, so Grumpy can make money.
Why just steal?
Because
So
Grumpy
steel.
loves making steel.
Mm-hmm.
I thought most of them made food, didn't they?
But they like food too, but if everyone's milled up, you're also burning more food. Because soldiers.
That too.
It's a steal of a deal.
Let's see.
Just
What are we?
saying,
Build up
when
militarization.
Clock milled up last time, when Cadam milled up, right? We went to them and we said, "Hey, why are you doing this?" And they told us because Lakotas told them it was profitable. It was econ builds, so we wanted to try it out ourselves.
Just following the bots.
Follow the bots, baby.
Speaking of bots, what do you guys think about the Divine Phoenix being the Divine Phoenix Whaling Corp?
That was pretty funny.
They changed it back already?
I don't know. It's a
Their name
very
on the treaty web just says Divine Phoenix. They literally just pay that much money for a. They did. Oh no. EPWC. They just changed their acronym. I thought they actually changed the name of the alliance. Okay. Whatever.
it's the old Borg special. I'm pretty sure because that's what E404 used to do all the time.
Dude, how do they even have that many applicants? Holy shit.
They don't prune their list. You know, they just
Fucking
keep
obnoxious.
people on app,
Yeah.
and then that way it's
I
a meat
remember
shield.
I remember looking through E404's applicant list one time, and I'm like, geez, there's more people on here than we have in our alliance.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, back then that was for tribute. So when Kodal got hungry, we would have our applicant list, and then we would just boot out a few of them for him to raid.
I mean, if they have any level of infrastructure, I mean, like all the people that they bring in are going to be like, what, C5, C6 and below? Like, they're kind of irrelevant, and it doesn't really mess anyone up because they've only got 10 members over C15. So, like, not hard to find them in the alliance. You're not hiding much.
Yeah, I mean, you just do it to hope that you eat some. That people, if they're targeting you, they accidentally send a few people at the useless people and leave
Yeah.
your better people alive. It's
Honestly,
just
really-
a blitz strat.
even if
but
it's
it-
just for fun, it's worth it.
It's
Like,
funny.
I think it's funny. It's worth the moment.
I mean,
632
Alex was like, "What a big alliance you have!" Like, that's funny.
Is that not old though? I thought that was old. Wow, you guys sure have a lot of members.
I thought that was, I don't know, that might have been the old guinea pig.
That's what I thought it was from. Like an old screenshot from the guinea pig. I wonder if that's current.
They're saying it's current.
Duck, are
That's-
you?
That's DP right now.
Oh yeah, what's up?
You guys are a core member of Clock now, right?
Yeah, that's true.
How did that come about?
Oh,
'Cause you guys were just off to the side, and then now you guys are all up in it.
we made bonds over the war. You know, finally we got in. Just
Is it
how it
because
happened.
people were concerned because KT members were involved in Hand of Fate, and they just were like unsure to fully involve them yet, or?
Well, I'd say there were some tensions before. I think they've been resolved now.
That's good. I've been pretty impressed with Hand of Fate. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of people were saying, "Oh, they'll never be able to last as like a traditional farming type alliance," and here you are. So far, so good.
Yeah, still going strong.
Okay. Um.
Hey, there was a question just since we're talking about bots and the joke that Morf had. But with bots, a lot of alliances rely on them. So one of the bot tools that some of the bots have is that when a nation exits beige, they get put on a list right away, right, for sniping. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, based on a question that we received, does anyone have any thoughts on those bots, how fair they are, and if that should be allowed, or just general thoughts on that?
I mean, I think the bot kind of time and place. I think I know I've been on the record before in TKR. We like bots, but we also like to have people involved in the process of like assigning targets, etc. Um, I sound terrible. Oh man, that's unfortunate.
Don't listen. You sound wonderful.
Thank you. I'm a
gonna
little
give a
little congested today. But so like for us, we have those bots now that show when people beige, etc. But it goes to our Milcom people, and then our Milcom could ping people instead of just like a free for all for the slots, because that's how you get people up declaring and doing stupid things just to try to get a slot, and that's not always
I've totally
the
never done that.
best. It's not always the best way to fight a war. Just a free for all kind of thing.
How is
So
Morf the only guy without an accent, Aglet? Clean your ears.
because
I
my
have no
voice is
accent.
beautiful no matter what professor says.
I live in the global time zone with the global accent. If you don't have my accent or my time zone, you are not the center of the world. Anyways, my take on the bots is, and you guys can agree or disagree with me. I'm a little bit older. I just don't have fucking time to sit here and watch this shit manually. If Alex wants to get the game better, where the econ system, like tracking taxes, allowing members to deposit and withdraw their own holdings up to the balance that they have, that they've deposited. If he wants to improve the war alert systems within the game, I'm fine doing away with bots. But make the game better. Don't let some dude in his basement eating Doritos do a better job at having a complex system of alerts. And so I am fine if someone takes time out of their day to set up a channel with a bot that tells you when targets are leaving. And so yes, it makes the game less difficult, yada yada yada. It feels like Zig's in here telling us bot's bad, but like for me it's really nice to be able to kind of get on close to the time change, see who's coming off, try and snipe them at the day change so I'm not sitting here for half an hour trying to figure out who's exiting beige. Um, and then same for like if they happen to pop out in the middle of the day, just because someone is on Section 8 housing, they get to sit there all day and monitor people leaving beige. But because I'm at work, I don't have an opportunity to. It's nice because it allows me to play the game more efficiently with my time, so I can do things like host a radio show instead of watching the fucking exiting nations coming off beige, right? So I would rather spend time doing this, looking at my own alliance, trying to help other things, than navigate a game that is designed a long time ago and is just not quite modern. Um, I think the game has, you know, I think it's good and it's fun. It has a lot of really great features to it, but there's like just that next level that I think it can go to. And I would love if Hi Dude became the scapegoat and the guy who we stone publicly when things aren't implementing it into the game anymore. Because I think he was mentioned like he wants to try and help out a little bit more, or I don't know. Hi Dude, you can talk about that later. But yeah, so I think if the game were to implement it, I would be fine if the API was pulled or stuff like that. Maybe it's page scraped. I don't know. I have never designed a bot for
We could
DNW.
all, like, if we're talking about things that helps everyone in this community, everyone in every alliance, I think the best thing we could do is just all delete and give everyone a bunch of time back, and get out there in the world. So another
Yeah.
recommendation: how do you bubble that one up? Have Alex push the
Let's
delete
see.
button.
Black Skies rethemed and gave 2 people leadership in less than a week as well. Kev, do you feel like your ability to become part of leadership immediately when an alliance is challenged by kills in Uriah by being immediately promoted to leader within Thunderstruck.
I will say everything is going according to plan. That's what I will say.
Sounds like you had a hand in it.
I'm very
Kill
excited.
Power is wonderful.
Very excited about the Black Skies rebrand into ACDC. That's
Thunderstruck.
Wow.
well,
Thunder.
it's an ACDC song. Okay, so it's very beautiful. Black Skies had negative connotations in my head because of past actions.
Mhm.
Now it's a whole new thing, and I'm excited for them. That's a good move.
Yeah, Kills in Your Eye is going to do great. And what else is wonderful is Brian Johnson, the lead man of ACDC. His last name's Johnson. So they're going to be a great fit.
Oh
It's a
god.
match made in heaven.
God damn it.
Yep.
Dato. They were on your show not too long ago, Kev. Said they didn't want to do anything. Or they wanted to do something, but they felt they couldn't. And it looks like someone
Who is that?
gave him a golden ticket. Gato. Because I refuse to call it Gato.
Gatos.
Gatos.
Yeah. Yeah, they're over in Wano's neck of the woods now.
They are.
I'm sorry.
How it's a little weird to me, like it's interesting seeing
Seeing.
TS. If Nexus ever decided to succeed, you guys wouldn't really have anyone. Did that never make you nervous?
They have humor.
We
guys
do have
have dead-
humor.
You literally
I
have dead
mean-
rabbits.
I mean, I'm not worried about Nexus seceding. House Stark is our oldest ally in the entire game. I think we've been allied to them on and off for like 5 years. Our relationship is as strong as ever with our allies in Nexus and Blackwater as a whole. As for the Gato tile, I was honestly actually really happy to see that go through. A lot of the people who run Gato are old school CN players, people who have had success at a high level in CN, and I'm happy to have them in our sphere.
So, what's the rationale behind the Waffle House drop, which really seemed like a downsize, and then immediately turn around and sign someone else? Is it just Gato is that much higher quality than Waffle House in your mind, or I know that was Legion and not like probably a sphere decision, but I'm sure you guys talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would never, and I know this was talked about. I think it was on Justinian's show about them being Legion talking about, we have to you guys have to downsize or we're going to drop you. I don't dictate my allies FA moves. I'm not going to tell them they have to drop people or sign people.
Or move someone else off the dream.
Well, that's not a here nor there. That was actually not even. I know people are tinfoil hatting. That was not asked for by me. That was something that I believe CTO and DPE had discussed. As for dropping Waffle House, you'd have to ask Legion. I know, from my conversations with them, they weren't meeting expectations that Legion had set for them, and they were dropped totally by Legion. And in the same way, I didn't tell HS or Sunray to sign Gato. I gave my opinion to HS on Gato, but I didn't say you have to sign them or you shouldn't sign them or whatever the case may be.
That's fair. That's fair.
I would have felt like you guys would weigh in a little more than that. That's surprising. How? Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. What else? Anything else on the docket? Am I missing anything? Did we miss a move? Did we miss a change?
I
feel like we
mean,
did.
we talked more about Rose not milling than we talked about
TKR
Hollywood
buying mill.
milling.
I was
But
trying to do you a favor, Morf. I don't know what to.
no. But I mean, we said we're buying steel, selling steel. So it's fine.
Praise be to Roy.
I am super happy to see name withheld on the treaty web.
Yeah, they're
Like
they're
they
pretty
have
awesome.
been a totally under the radar, most slept on. Well, they upgraded recently with you guys, didn't they? They were a protectorate, but didn't they upgrade?
Correct.
Last
The-
week, yeah.
The
Or-
week after we signed TI, we upgraded them.
Yes.
They're
Okay,
they're
I
a
think-
really solid group.
The
They
thing
have good
I
people
think
there.
before then, were they the best protectorate? Do you guys think at the time, while still a protectorate? Am I missing anyone that
I mean,
you
I'm
think
I'm
could potentially
biased,
be
but
better than them?
probably they were one of the better ones. I mean, they're very different type of alliance. They only take they'll only have a couple applicants at a time. Like they're very selective on who they take because of how in depth their mentorship program is and how in depth um their growth programs are. They don't want to be a mass member alliance. So it they're small but mighty compared to other like Empire of the Romans is good, but they're a mass member, eat every micro kind of thing. And like IKEA's a really good prop, but they're a mass member. There's lots of good props. I don't think
Is
any
IKEA
do.
still a prot?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm?
They just
Fucking
switched.
rank are they? Jesus
They
Christ!
switched from Oasis to Kata. So, but they're another one of those prots that are kind of a mass member prot. Name
Jesus
withheld
Christ.
is like a guardian type
Rank
or
30 protectorate. How
Yeah.
many other rank 30 protectorates are there?
I think Empire of the Romans is around there, right?
They're like
Well,
34 or something.
Isn't Divine
No,
Phoenix
Empire
is
Romans.
Divine Phoenix is ranked number 5, aren't they a prot?
They got
They-
a M level.
They're
with-
an MDP now, but yeah,
with-
they
Well,
still call it a prot.
Sure. Yeah.
They are the only one. They are the only top 30 prot. They are the soonest you get to a protectorate.
Yeah, and
Stark, Way, OWR, Camelot, Dead. Wait, is Dead Rabbits a prot?
Dead Rabbits is a prot, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
Dead Rabbits is higher than Wana. Do you know?
I don't know offhand.
I think they're
Yeah,
a
we can
prot.
try and get the FA from Syndicate in here and tell us if it's prot or not.
I'm sorry. I thought you were asking them what rank they were. Yeah, though they are.
No.
They're still a prot.
Okay.
No, I thought you were. Yeah, that's my bad. I thought you were.
I mean, to be
I'm just fucking
fair,
with you.
every treaty with Syndicate would be a prot. Am I right, Wana?
Yeah.
All
next
right.
is prot.
We're actually still protecting Legion, even though it doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Dead Rabbits is the highest prot. In that case, then. Wait, you said you're the Legion?
No.
You're not. You guys.
He
You're
was
higher.
making
I was
a
memeing.
joke.
Fucking made
Yeah,
me go and
I was
look.
memeing.
Okay, yeah. So Dead Rabbits is the. Are they getting upgraded anytime soon?
It's something we've discussed. I don't think it's necessarily incoming anytime soon, but it's certainly something that has been discussed.
They
That was
just
a great
lost.
non-answer.
They just lost a bunch of people, right? They had a bunch of DD's people left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that
So now-
Imperium of Man or
Imperium
whatever.
of Man, yeah. Now it's mostly just Rohan again, I think. But Rohan has good people.
Yeah,
I love them. They've been a great prop for us.
Yeah. I was a little sad that they went with you guys and not us when SK died. But you guys have taken good
Yeah.
care of them.
And honestly, actually, in that note, I wanted to mention this. If SK doesn't win most Missed Alliance this year, I'm literally rolling whoever didn't vote for them.
It's gonna be tough because TLE made it further into the year than Seven
Oh,
Kingdoms.
but
so
TLE
it's
was
like
garbage, and SK
pressure
was
in
actually a
people's
good
minds.
alliance.
SK
just
was
saying it's-
high quality.
it's just more fresh in people's minds, and they went through a pretty tumultuous time before they disbanded.
Yeah.
For
And
years.
TLE had a pretty lots of liked people in the community.
Yeah.
SK
It's
was
not that one is
a
better
little
than the
more
other
insular.
or more missed or not. It's just like
No,
people don't
SK was definitely
remember.
better than TLE.
Yeah,
SK
I'm
was
trying to say
100%
from
better.
a people remembering things, like people will remember whatever is most recent rather than if there is a better choice. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that's
And
why
it's,
like
it's
TFP cutting ties is a high contender for worst FA move when it could be argued it isn't or it is or isn't. You know, it's just like if something happened in March of 2021, it's just like less dramatic for people because they've
Well, short
become
memory.
numb to it.
I mean, recency bias is a hell of a drug.
Mhm.
It do be.
Doobie.
United Armies, did they find anyone? Who the fuck did they
Uh,
sign?
mm,
No
United
one. They
Armies, they're
literally
still
signed
around.
no one. I guarantee you they don't have any spies
I
right now.
I think they're still mostly paperless.
Find out. Let's see if they have any spies. I guarantee
Who
you
is
they
this?
United Armies, they were allied to Commonwealth and then got dropped in the move.
Mm,
So
Okay.
that's
don't.
someone you
Here in a
can,
second.
someone Johnson's can go sign.
there you go. Yeah, I mean, maybe that'd be like the offshoots. That'd be like the Henderson's block.
How long
But
has Sir Carlo been running that alliance, dude?
Since
think he
I've
made
been
it.
here.
At least a year and a half.
So Kev,
Way longer than
I
that.
have a question. So if you talk to Epi,
Yeah.
it makes it seem that like Camelot and TFP aren't in the Johnsons technically. They're just affiliated with the Johnsons. So they're like a core Johnsons group, and then like those people on the side, or do you consider them the Johnsons as well?
I think so the Johnsons is a pretty complex idea, like
Sure.
it's so great that our feeble little minds it's kind of hard to wrap our minds around it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So hit me back up later on that one.
Okay.
Only one
Like it's
person in United Armies has more than 40 spies, by the way.
But something I think that's kind of interesting because you guys were talking about TLE and Juan was saying TLE was trash. SK, and I get it, but like, and then with SK, people were saying SK was trash in the chats. There's probably a little bit more
they're wrong.
competency. There's probably a little bit more competency in SK. TLE had more balls. TLE went to bat more on things or like try to be stand up for themselves maybe a little bit more, but
I mean,
Giant.
they got
Uh,
praised for not rolling over when they got raided. Like it was nice that they fought back,
yeah,
When did
but it
Seven
wasn't.
Kingdoms officially like die?
like 2 years ago.
Wasn't it before like
It was
Duck Hunt?
2020.
It might have been late 2020. It was after Duck Hunt, I think.
So it was after Duck Hunt.
Yeah, I think Duck Hunt was the final nail in the coffin for them.
Huh.
See, I mean
Same.
it was so long ago. It almost could have been
2 years ago, yeah.
well,
But
more just like we've already had an
Withheld
award
just
show.
had their first birthday, so
Yeah,
oh,
because
okay.
Name Withheld was a splitter of most of. Like some people came to
okay.
TKR, some people came to. I know like McMaster went to Syndicate, but a lot of them went to Name Withheld, like the active people.
Yeah. So it could have just been timing kind of throws off people thinking about Seven Kingdoms for
What
sure.
other
But
alliances are we missing?
Or most of it.
that disbanded, Error
The,
404.
the Order,
Order, Air 44,
444,
Children of
and
Light.
Children of the Light. Even I mean they're
Well,
merged.
kind of. Well, I mean,
Well, I mean, the Order also merged into BK, so those are a little different.
KT.
Well, yeah, but that also just merged into something else, right? Is
Yeah, I
most
mean
myths just like dead or
a lot of
like?
times when alliances merge, they lose their identity anyways. So like Hand of Fate to me is quite different than KT, and therefore I think KT should be allowed to be a contender for a missed alliance if you wanted to vote for it. Just like you know, sometimes merges are because one alliance is on their deathbed, and it is makes the most sense. So like it shouldn't disqualify. Mythic is okay. So like Mythic, there you go. Mythic's up there. Um, yeah, I would be fine if mergers happen. Like for example, Digital Dopamine or Rahurim could be a missed alliance because it could have been the theme they wanted, or when you merge, there's always some people who don't like it and leave, and so it changes the landscape of what it looked like. Yada yada yada. So I don't like just rebranding. So SOS becoming DP doesn't. I know it's a weird line to draw, but like that to me doesn't mean like SOS isn't an eligible person for that for me because they just paid 4 credits or 2 credits and changed the name.
I think it depends on the situation personally, but I mean, as far as like with merging and stuff, like sometimes it's the same core community. But what I was gonna ask before though, because you guys were talking about TLE, Seven Kingdoms and stuff, like you take a look back on history and different eras, and there's always been kind of these mass member alliances or like bigger alliances that might have a lot of nation score, but they're kind of a husk, right? Or they're just kind of there, and then they do whatever they can to either dodge war or they'll just like Pantheon, in my opinion, is the golden goose on it, right? I mean, maybe other people have different opinions, but I think Pantheon was ranked number one at one point, weren't they?
They did die this year, didn't they?
They
Pantheon?
did. Yeah, officially they died this year, I think.
Right.
Yeah, because Oasis had already formed and they were part of Oasis. Oasis started in January.
Wild. So, but when you think of those different alliances, who do you think are those alliances now?
You mean like the tons of members but no real
Meat,
substance?
yeah, like they don't really know what they're doing. They're just there.
Well, someone in this, one of the co-hosts led one of those for a while.
The street?
No, I'm talking about
Talking about
TFB.
you. Morf saying TFP.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely. You have
they actively
a
made the
pretty good
choice.
argument for that one.
They're like, "Hey, Gov members that want us to improve, now we're good. Go somewhere else." Twice, twice. They did it
Yeah.
twice.
Wild.
It's like when you're in a spot in life to no longer take care of a dog that you really cared for and you give it to someone and then you just watch them fucking kick it
Repeatedly.
repeatedly. Fuck me, dude. I mean, I
That-
get it. That's why we didn't. That's literally why people left. Like the theme stands for something there, and so rather than rebrand, rechange, shape it all up, just can let them be the niche alliance they want to be, and let that be a home for the people who want to play that way.
Yeah, I mean that's what you want to do. It's what you want to do. So, I mean,
There's tons of people who like they're not the only one who want to be a more defensive natured alliance.
And I don't
to
think that's
do
a
that. They're
problem.
not the only
it's
person
it's
that
not
are
a
like,
problem.
If you
It's not a
want to
problem.
be a community based alliance, I don't think
Yeah.
that's an issue. I will say, like Pantheon, I'm going to use this as an example then because I'm not going to crap talk my ally on air or whatever. So, but Pantheon, they thought they knew what they were doing. All right, like they would have this hubris about them where they're kind of beating their chest as if they knew what they were doing, but they had no clue what they were doing. Right. And then if you try to like give any kind of guidance, then it was like talking to a brick wall because they knew better. Right. I don't know if you guys remember that. I'm sure actually everyone here would probably remember that. So is that what you were saying on your end then? You're saying two groups of people trying to come in help and they both get kicked to the curb.
Are you asking
Vice?
me?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that explanation related to what I said. Like,
Cause you or was it Morph? Maybe Morph was the one
I
that said it.
said it,
When
yeah.
oh Morph. Okay, then I'm
Yeah.
talking to Morph.
Yeah, they had people. I mean, two different groups of leadership, like Vice and Harry and all those that left,
oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
and then Val, because they couldn't convince people that they had to make positive changes. But
Oh no, I
it's
mean,
not. It's not a bad
full
thing to want
disclosure, we
community.
made the change. Like we made changes and put them through, and had started the snowball. But at some point, you have to realize like there is people who join that alliance for a specific reason, and you uproot everything that they want and that alliance gave them. And so it's tough to basically kill what some. Imagine Morph if I was like, okay, TKR is community first, and or no, we're gonna change from TKR being community first or whatever to military or econ only. Morph. We are all about pinching pennies now, and I don't care if someone doesn't have the most efficient nation build ever, and they don't change it every 5 days when I tell them to. We're gonna kick them, regardless if they're a good contributor to the community. It doesn't matter if they waste money in war or whatever it is. We're gonna kick them. You'd be like, well, what the fuck? Like TKR is always known for being a really good fighter, for having good community, and then like econ has always just been a pillar of something that we're good at, but it's never been like the thing that's front and center. You would be like, well, what the fuck? Why is this a thing? I joined them because they basically touted or stouted that the community was their big thing. So it's just like that's the theme, and that's
Sure.
what it
I'm
is.
not,
And
sa-
so
I'm not saying it's a bad thing for TFP to want to be a community based thing. You know, like if community is what's important to you, community is what's important to you. But it does at some point put you in the situation where you're in now. Like if TFP went to any of the other blocks and said, "Hey, I want to join," I feel pretty confident that Hollywood would pass. I feel pretty confident that Blackwater would pass, and Clock would pass, and Mile High would pass. So, like, eventually, you have to understand that you can make choices, but your choices will have consequences in the game as in general, like an FA kind of thing. Like Oasis was fine with it, but they weren't at the end, right? There was issues there.
right,
So,
yeah, and it's just the same way why like the ODP people look back on that and say, yeah, maybe that wasn't the smartest idea.
yeah,
But anyways, yeah, to answer your question, Kev, I'm looking through here. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people who are potentially like the super high membership, but none of them are really tuned into the game. 770 was like that before they completely collapsed this year.
yeah.
But do we want to not drag this out too long? And Hi Dude and Liberty, are you guys wanting to talk about the award stuff?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Well, we can go ahead and cut our recording here. Thanks for coming out to Morph Radio. Keep in line, keep watching, because there might be more stuff happening over the next couple days. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
So.
kills you can kill it, and let's.